The number one thing that Splatoon 3 needs is to have buff Tentamissiles. I'm kidding, no one likes Tentamissiles. Good morning, mi amigos, and welcome to my 33 last minute wants for Splatoon 3. Now before we get into the video, I'd like to address the extremely prevalent Splatoon 3 leaks that have been going on. I have been spoiled, and there are no spoilers in this video, but I'd just like to let everyone know that these spoilers may or may not confirm some of the things I may be predicting or wanting. So if the leaks do end up spoiling something or confirming something in this video, don't let me know. I want to find out when the game comes out. Alright, so with that, let's get into my last minute wants. Also, I've organized each want into a different category, and the category name will be somewhere on the screen. So with that, let's get into my first want, with the first category being story mode. Now the first thing I want is to have more cutscenes. The Splatoon 3 hero mode seems to be a mix of the Splatoon 1 and 2's hero mode, as well as the Octo expansion. And the Octo expansion had a nice plethora of cutscenes, so that makes me quite excited for more cutscenes in Splatoon 3. Now it doesn't have to be anything super special, but having a cutscene here and there with the characters would be nice. Number 2, returning specials. We already know that the Splashdown is going to be coming back to the hero mode as its, single player exclusive special. So I was thinking it would be pretty cool if some other scrapped specials returned to the hero mode. For example, like the bomb launcher or the Kraken. Like it'd be super cool to just plow down enemies with the invincible Kraken or the destructive force of the bomb launcher. Is that gonna happen? Probably not. I think we're only gonna get the splashdown, but it'd be cool if we got something more. Number 3, this one's pretty simple. An interesting story. Now, is DJ Octavio gonna be the final boss? Is he gonna kidnap the Zapfish? I don't know if the Zapfish is actually in Splatsville, but, the DJ Octavio is probably going to be the final boss, as per usual. However, with the whole return of the Mammalians, or however you pronounce it, I think Splatoon 3's hero mode is leading up to something more than just DJ Octavio kidnapping the Zapfish, so I'm quite excited. Number 4, this one's really out there, and it's probably not going to happen, but I think it'd be cool if we could have numerous playable characters. Of course, you can customize your character to look however you want, but what if we got to play as Callie with the roller, or as Marie with the charger, or even as Captain 3 with the splatter shot? Like, it's just different weapons that the gameplay wouldn't change really, but I still think it'd be cool to play as different characters. Number 5 is a bit specific, but it is to expand on the lore of the Professor. And by the Professor, I mean the same Professor that had Judd frozen to be thawed out later, and the same Professor that made Commander Tartar. Now this guy, he's been pretty important in the lore for various things, so I think it'd be interesting with the Sunken Scrolls to expand more on him. Number 6, super important Little Buddy. We got to see in the Nintendo Treehouse Live gameplay that you could just chuck Little Buddy and he'll do stuff for you, and that's really cool. But what I mean by super important is that he's really relevant to the actual story. Like, I don't know, like Super Metroid Splatoon 3, where you know how Samus was about to get beat up, and then the Metroid comes in and saves Samus at the cost of its life? Well, what if Little Buddy does that, your Inkling about to get clapped up, and Little Buddy just comes in and... Or what if he Pokemon evolves, and he turns from a small fry to a chump to a golden, just bing! Frying pan someone in the head. I don't know, but I think it'd be cool if Little Buddy had actual absurd levels of relevance to the story mode. I think that'd be pretty cool. Number 7, and my last one for story mode specifically, is returning agents. We already got to see that Agents 1 and 2, Callie and Marie, are already back, and old Agent 3, who is now Captain 3, is also back. But what I mean is that I want to see Agents 4 and 8 return. Now, I don't think that they'll return in this hero mode, but I think they have a good chance of coming back in the Pearl Marina DLC, and I really do hope that we get to see them sometime in Splatoon 3, because Agent 4 is pretty neglected as it is, and Agent 4 needs some love, so I'm hoping that they can come back along with Agent 8. Alright, that wraps up the story mode wants. We're going to move on to the weapons category and what I want to see from the weapons. So the first want, and want number 8 overall, is to have 3 overall weapon types for each class. This mainly pertains to the brushes, splatanas, and stringers. As of now, we only know 2 of each. We have the Ink Brush Octobrush, we have the Tri-Stringer, and some kind of light version of the Tri-Stringer that got leaked. And we have the Splatana Wiper and the Chainsaw Wiper that I forgot the name of. But those only have 2, and given Splatoon 3's motif of the number 3, I hope that we get to see one extra type for each of the classes. Now, if we want to take it one step farther, we can go to wants number 9, which is to add a weapon type to each class. So not only would we get a new brush, a new stringer, and a new splatana, we would also get a new umbrella, new dualies, new shooter, new blaster, new roller, new charger. Am I missing one? Probably, but you get the idea. Now, especially with shooters, I'm not sure if that's going to happen given how many shooters we have. But if I'm not mistaken, we haven't had a new shooter since Splatoon 1. So I think it'd be cool if they can implement a new shooter somehow, even though the weapon class is already super diverse. Now, if we want to take it even farther with want number 10, it would be that every weapon type has 3 kits. Now in Splatoon 2, some weapons got kind of jammed by only having 2 kits. Like the YouTuber and the Hydra Splatling, they only had 2 kits each. So I think in Splatoon 3, even if it's like through DLC, like later on in its life, I want every weapon to have 3 kits. I just held up 4 by saying 3. I'm sorry, 3 kits. Though it would be interesting if we had 4 kits, but that might be a bit much. Save that for Splatoon 4. But yeah, 3 weapon kits for each weapon class, for each weapon type. That would be cool, by the end of its life at least. Number 11, this is something I wanted back even in Splatoon 2, which is to have Octo versions of every main weapon class. You know, we already have the Octo Shot and the Octo Brush, but through the Octo expansion, in like Girl Power Station, we got to see modeled Octo variants of every weapon class. So I'm like, give it to us, please. So that's why I'm hoping in Splatoon 3 they'll give us Octo versions. Even if they have like the same kit, that's fine. I just like to play as like the cool, edgy Octo version of the weapon. Number 12 is more balancing weapons than anything, and it's to reduce Shot RNG. Now, nothing sucks more than trying to shoot someone right in front of you and your bullets go everywhere but... and your bullets go everywhere but them. So that's why, in order to turn down the luck that is involved in trying to shoot someone, I feel like they should not entirely remove, but lessen shot deviation from weapons that would really benefit from having less of it, like the point gals, the airborne blasters. Just tone it down and nerf them somewhere else in order to, to keep it balanced. But I personally don't think that having luck should be a way to nerf or balance out a weapon. Finally, this one's pretty simple. I'd like to have a fun and balanced meta for Splatoon 3. Alright, moving on to Salmon Run, we have number 14, a new Grizzco modified weapon. Now in Splatoon 2, we had the Grizzco Blaster, the Grizzco Umbrella, Grizzco Charger, and the Grizzco Sloshing Machine, all of which were ridiculously overpowered, and I'd like to see a new one, specifically the Grizzco Stringer. I think that could be a pretty cool weapon. Basically, the little explosions at the end of the trajectory of the Stringer would be incredibly big, and that's how it would be broken, as well as having a reduced charge time like the Charger. Number 15, more unique events. Now, we already have we have high tide, low tide, mid tide, and we have nighttime with all the various events that happen there, but I think we can go one step extra. What if we introduce daytime events? Now, daytime in Salmon Run already looks like sunset, so what if we have like a really pink or orangey, well I guess it's already orange, like a really like pink or differently colored sunset that would have special events attributed to it, or maybe just even daytime specific events, or even more nighttime events, which I think we got to see some new nighttime events from some footage. I remember seeing Game Explain's video about this new boss Salmonid that would have like a really big mouth and you have to throw bombs into it. I think that might basically, yeah, have more special events. That would be cool. Number 16, I think this will be really cool, and that is to have various king Salmonids. You already have the one big chunker, Koho Zuno, I think his name was. He like jumps around the stage, and he like flops on his belly, and he's pretty intimidating overall. But what if we had different types of king Salmonids? Like one idea I had is that what if we had like a super moss type of eel king Salmonid that would like go through the ground and like have there'd be like a big indicator where he would like come out and be like and just pop out of the ground, and he'd be like, if you guys know like Gobble Gut from Mario Galaxy 2, he would like spin and like go around the air and like swoop down and try and crunch people. It'd be a one shot, you have to shoot him or throw bombs in his mouth or shoot eggs at him. I think it'd be pretty cool, and we could have even more, maybe like some kind of really big swordfish type of boss salmonid or something like that. I think it'd be cool if we could have various boss salmonids to like keep the experience fresh. Number 17, an endless mode. I am honestly surprised Splatoon 2 never got an endless mode for Salmon Run. So, maybe in Splatoon 3 we could have an endless mode. And of course it'd be like, when you go into Salmon Run there'd be 2 different options. You can either do a 3-round shift or you can go an endless shift. And an idea I had is that for every 5 rounds, like you do round 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on round 5, there would be a king salmonid that would appear, and you would do 6, 7, 8, 9, and on round 10 there would be another king salmonid. Is it gonna happen? I'm not sure because, you know, people might disconnect and then it'd be hard to keep up, but yeah. I think Endless Mode could be a great way, just have constant Salmon Run, rack up a ton of rewards. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Number 18, better rewards. In Splatoon 2, once you got to a certain point, the rewards of Salmon Run weren't really worth it. You didn't really need much gold. The ability chunks you got from the year wasn't really all that beneficial. The only thing that really helped was like the food drink tickets, and that's about it. So in Splatoon 3, I hope we get better and more varied rewards. I actually have 3 ideas of what they could do to make it better. The first one is to have the rewards scale with your rank in Salmon Run. If you're just starting out, the rewards you get would be pretty small, you know, like maybe only 4,000 or 8,000 gold, few ability chunks, etc. But as you get higher and higher, all the way up to like professional and higher, you would constantly get like 16 to 32,000 gold, 64,000 gold, gear with like all 3 ability chunks filled out. Yeah, so just have it scaled so that it feels like you're being rewarded more for being a higher rank. Number 2 is to have more super bonuses. In Splatoon 2, you would only get 2 super bonuses, one at 600 points, one at 1200 points, and that was it. No matter how far down you went, you would never find another super bonus. And that kind of sucks because super bonuses were a nice way to like keep track of how much you played and getting a super bonus. So that's why I'm thinking we keep that periodic nature of the super bonuses in one at 600, one at 1200, and after that the bonuses start decreasing in number, but after another 6 we would have another super bonus, and then after another we would have another super bonus, like spread them out more but still keep them in the game because it's nice to get a super bonus. And the third thing to keep the bonuses fresh would be to have Hotlantis items or items from the catalog. Something that, you know, would change every 3 months, but put them in Salmon Run as a secondary way to get them, you know, instead of having to pay money, maybe you can get it as a bonus. Number 19 is one I kind of fought myself over. I wasn't sure if I actually wanted number 19 to be in the game, but after some deliberation, I think it could be a good change. And that is to have various sub-weapons. So of course we would have the Splat Bomb. You know, the Splat Bomb is already a Salmon Run, it's the iconic go-to sub-weapon of Splatoon. I also think the Suction Bomb would work really well. Burst Bomb, which for slower weapons, it could be a good painting option, and for faster weapons, it could be a good longer range option. And for Fizzy Bomb, because you can charge it up, it would leave a trail in front of you, but also have multiple explosions, which is why I chose it over the Curling Bomb. So basically, to summarize, my want number 19 is to have a different sub-weapon, and that could be a Splat Bomb, a Suction Bomb, a Burst Bomb, or a Fizzy Bomb. Moving on. So want number 20 also kind of has to do with want number 19. And want number 20 is to change how Flyfish works. Now, I don't like that Tenta missiles are in Splatoon 3, and I don't like that the Flyfish is returned. However, I think we can do a couple of changes. Now, what sucks about the Flyfish is that there's really only one way of defeating them, and that's with throwing bombs into the missile tank area. Now, almost every other boss in Splatoon has multiple ways of defeating them. Like the Drizzler, you can just shoot it to death, or you can hit the capsule for a one-shot. The Moz, you can either shoot it to death, or you can throw a bomb to destroy it. But basically what I'm trying to say is that there should be at least 2 ways to defeat the Flyfish. Like instead of having it have infinite HP with the little guy in the cockpit, it should have like, I don't know, maybe 500 HP. They can just shoot down, and after a while it'll be like beep, 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 and then it would break. Because trying to chuck bombs when you don't have enough ink is really annoying, and I feel like this could be a good change, especially with bomb changes that I made earlier in 119, you know? You can just chuck a burst bomb to do some good damage to it. So I feel like that would be a good change to make the Flyfish less annoying, but still keeping the faster method of throwing bombs into it. So yeah, that's it for Salmon Run. We're moving on to the next category of other modes. Number 21, super customizable private battles. Now, private battles already have a good chunk of customization available to it, but I feel like we can add even more. Just like how in hero mode you can have like infinite specials for a certain level, what if we got to have infinite specials in private battle? Or what if we could like activate infinite ink? Or just, I don't know, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff to have more diverse private battles, have crazier private battles, and I don't know, make squid parties even funner. Moving on, number 22, a new ranked mode. I don't know what it would be. I'd like to have a new one, please. Number 23, stage-specific ranked modes. Now, some stages just do not work well with certain ranked modes. They have to change the layout. Like, for example, Piranha Pit, they had to make it from a mostly horizontal stage to a super vertical stage. That kind of ruined how it worked. And as I said before, some stages just do not work well with other ranked modes. So that's why I'm thinking they have stage-specific ranked modes. Like maybe you can have a tower control on Scorch Gorge, but not Splat Zones. Or maybe you could have Splat Zones on that one, but not Clan Blitz. You know, like, have various ranked modes be specific to various stages. That way, some of the modes won't have to suck. Number 24, bring back single-player minigames, such as Squid Beats, or the Splatoon 1 minigames. Just something small on the side. It doesn't have to be anything new or anything special, just something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And now you guys might be thinking, what about table turf battles? That seems to be like its own little 1v1 side thing. And I agree. And that's actually number 25. Have continued support for table turf battles. Now I know a lot of people don't really care about table turf battles. I've seen the reactions of some Splatubers and some other people, and they're like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but not really for me. And for some reason, I am the exact opposite. I am incredibly hyped for it for no reason. I don't even know how it plays, but I'm just excited to play it for some reason. Like, I'm just a Splatoon junkie. I will eat up anything Splatoon related. Like, plushies, Splatoon. The freaking Splatoon manga, yeah, I have that too. Basically, I just love anything that is Splatoon, whether it be lore, gameplay. Yeah, so I guess that's why I'm excited for table turf battles, and I hope it gets continued support. You know, they'll probably introduce more weapons in DLC, and I hope that they can make new cards. I mean, I think there's already 150 cards available in table turf battles, and I just want there to be continued support because I feel like I would enjoy the mode. Number 26, and the last one for other modes, is to have a very special Splatfest, which is to be the Squid Sisters versus Off the Hook versus Deep Cuts. Now, you know, there's 3 idol groups that I feel like this is going to be a Splatfest that they're going to do, but I want it to be special. And that is to say, I do not want Shiver to represent Squid Sisters, Fried to represent Off the Hook, and Big Man to represent Deep Cuts. What I actually want is, whenever they announce the Splatfest, freaking the Squid Sisters barge in. Off the Hook like comes in their helicopter. They're all the idol groups are there, and the Squid Sisters represent Squid Sisters. Off the Hook represents Off the Hook, and Deep Cut represents Deep Cut, if that makes sense. I just want this to be like a special event, and this would probably happen after the Pearl Marina DLC. But yeah, I think that would be really cool. Uh-oh, looks like someone's walking in while I'm recording. Bye, mommy. That's it for the other modes. Now we're moving on to miscellaneous. Not really things I could figure out where to put, but still some wants that I want. Number 27, more communication options. As of now, this way and Booyah for solo queue, it's barely serviceable. I feel like we need more specific commands. Maybe we can have a like, let's push the objective, or hold back, or like wait, or something. I don't know. But just more communication options so that we can do better in solo queue and communicate better, especially without voice chats. Number 28, online battle music selection. So in Smash Bros, you can choose the frequency at which certain songs will play, or you can even just choose a specific song to play during a certain match. And I want that feature to be in Splatoon 3. Like, back in Splatoon 2, I loved listening to Blitzit and then Tropical, but I had no control over when they played it. So in Splatoon 3, I think it'd be nice if they had an option like Smash Bros. Where you can either change the frequency or select a song outright. Moving on to number 29, easier leveling. Now, early on in Splatoon, the leveling isn't bad, you know, you get levels pretty quickly, but once you hit level 30, level 50, it just becomes an absolute grind. I just feel like, apart from drink tickets, they should just lessen the amount of XP it takes to level up, because I just feel like it takes a while. Number 30, more amiibo features. Now, in Splatoon 2, the amiibos had a good chunk of features, but at the same time, it felt like some of those features should have been already in the game, like taking pictures and being able to save kits to just without having to need the amiibo. In Splatoon 3, we see those changes take place. We do not need the amiibo to save certain kits, and we don't need the amiibo to take photos. But then that leaves the amiibo with very little usage. Like, apart from getting gear, that's all we really get. Like, even in Splatoon 1, we got special missions that we can get for cash. So that's why I was thinking, maybe in Splatoon 3, we could have even more utility for the amiibo. Like, not only do they give you the gear, maybe you can complete special challenges based off the story mode, or just outright give you, like, shuttle licenses or catalog passes or whatever it is. Just give them a little something extra, because, like look at this, like, I have every single Splatoon amiibo. I'd like to have some, like, functioning usage for them, other than just having gear, which may not even be that useful anymore, because now we can change the main slots of gear abilities. So these guys better get some extra extra stuff for them, or else they're not going to be useful. Number 31. This is super specific, and I don't think anyone else thought of this, but I want a Splatoon manga reference in Splatoon 3. So in Splatoon 2, we got, or the Japanese version of Splatoon got the Emperor set of clothing, which is based off of Emperor, this guy right here off the manga, and they got to wear his clothes, which was original to the manga. So I want to see some kind of reference. It doesn't have to be big, I just want something. And this may already be a thing in Splatoon, because in the Splatoon 3 demo, someone may have found a little newspaper that had a character known as Gloves, this guy, on it. So it may already exist, it may not, I'm not sure. I'd like to see something more. Alright, and for my last want is to have Deep Cut be relevant somehow to the story. But I just don't know how. Like, I was thinking about this and I wanted it to happen, but I don't see a way for Deep Cut to be relevant, like, for the greater story. Like, let me give some context. Essentially, the Squid Sisters, they have the hero mode in Splatoon 1, Splatoon 2, and now in Splatoon 3, they seem to be a central part of the story as Ages 1 and 2. With Off the Hook, with Pearl and Marina, they seem to be getting their time to shine in the DLC, as we see in the Octo expansion, and the future Splatoon 3 DLC. And the reason why this is important is because of characterization. Before the Octo expansion, people didn't really care about Pearl and Marina, including me. I didn't really care for them until I played Octo expansion, and I thought, wow, these characters are a lot more fleshed out. And I feel like that's important for Deep Cut. Like, I feel like the designs are pretty top tier. Shiver, Fry, Big Man, I think they all have really good designs, but personality and characterization wise, we're not going to get that much outside of their interactions from the news, which is why I want them to be implemented somehow in the story, but as I said before, I just don't know how. The hero mode has the Squid Sisters, the DLC has Off the Hook. Where does that leave Deep Cut? Now I have one theory, that's a big maybe. Whenever I was first reacting to the Splatoon 3 Direct, link in the description, I first thought that Deep Cut was actually a villain group, like antagonists. Like, I saw their masks and how they responded to the narrator, and I'm like, wow, these don't look like idols, these look like thieves. They said the Spotlight is our turf, so I thought they were like some kind of bad guys. Turns out they were just the idol group, but then I got thinking, well, what if they like were the bad guys in the Splatoon story mode somehow? I'm not sure how that would work, but that's just the only thing I can really think of in order to get them involved with the story mode. Is that gonna happen? I don't know, but I do hope we get to see them somewhere in the story mode. Alright, that concludes all of my 33 wants that I want for Splatoon 3. If the Splatoon 3 leaks have confirmed or denied any of what I said in the video, do not let me know, do not put it in the comment section below, and if I see any of that, I'm gonna ban you to the Shadow Realm. Alright? Cool. That being said, let me know what you guys want down below for Splatoon 3 when it comes out, or as future DLC. Alright, with that, I'll see you guys next time! What's that? I only mentioned 32 wants. Oh, I forgot about my 33rd want! And that is that I want to be good at the game. Now get out of here!